A police officer was patrolling a deserted road in the dead of night, when suddenly, a little girl appeared right in front of his car. He immediately stopped, turned on his body cam and approached her. But the moment he asked her a question, her response sent chills down his spine. And this isn't the only case. In another chilling footage, a man was trapped inside a burning truck. But when firefighters finally put out the flames, what they saw was beyond belief. What other shocking moments have been captured on police body cams? Watch till the end to find out. November 19, 2017, Clearwater, Florida. It was supposed to be a routine traffic stop. Two police cruisers were parked on the side of the road, their dash cams rolling. Everything seemed normal, until 2 minutes later when something completely unexpected happened. A small plane appeared in the distance. At first it seemed like it was just flying by, but then officers realized something was wrong. The plane was descending, and fast. Just before impact, the plane's right wing clipped a tree, causing it to spiral out of control before crashing on the side of the road, right next to the officers. The aircraft was a four-seater piloted by 61-year-old Mark Allen Benedict, with one other passenger on board. They had taken off just minutes earlier from a nearby airport when suddenly, the engine started failing. Mark reported back to the control tower, his voice tense. His last words before impact? "I don't think I can make it back." With no other options left, Mark was forced to make a crash landing, right in the middle of the road. But here's the most shocking part. Both Mark and his passenger walked away from the wreckage with barely a scratch. Was this pure luck? A miracle? Or something else? One thing is certain, this was one of the most terrifying moments ever captured on body cam. February 18, 2022, Shawano, Wisconsin. It was just another routine highway patrol shift for Officer Jeff Buettner. His dash cam was rolling as he drove through the icy roads, completely unaware that in just a few seconds, he'd be caught in one of the worst pileups ever recorded. Suddenly, a mass of crashed vehicles appeared in front of him. But like everyone else on the road that day, Jeff had no time to stop. The frozen highway gave him no control. His cruiser slid straight into the wreck.
Up high.
Hey, officer, are you okay? A little sore, but... You okay? I'm a little sore, but I gotta try and get a hold of my supervisor at least. Kind of trapped right now. How's your legs and everything? They're alright. I'm kind of trapped right here. Okay, yeah. I don't... Okay, so I'm with Shawano PD. I gotta I'll try and get out of here and do what I can to help you guys. I'm sorry, man, I'm trapped right now. That's okay, that's okay. Hold on, let me try and get out of my driver's door first. Can you? Can you, Nope. Nope, we got it open. You got it open?
Before he could even react, cars from behind slammed into his vehicle one after another, each impact more violent than the last. Jeff was now trapped inside his car. He could hear the sound of metal crushing, glass shattering, and drivers outside screaming for help. But miraculously he was still alive. Minutes passed before people from other crashed cars rushed to check on him. For 6 long minutes, Jeff struggled to free himself, every second feeling like an eternity. Finally, he managed to escape his wrecked cruiser. But instead of waiting for help, he immediately ran to assist other stranded drivers. By the time it was over, 39 vehicles had been involved in the pileup and 10 people were injured. What caused this devastating chain reaction? And could it have been avoided? One thing is clear: this was one of the most chaotic moments ever caught on a police dash cam. February 11, 2017, Glen Heights, Texas. A frantic 911 call comes in late at night. The caller's voice is panicked. There's a truck completely engulfed in flames, and it's dangerously close to a building. Officer Chris Womack was the first to respond. As he raced to the scene, the reality of the situation became clear. This wasn't just a fire. This truck could explode at any moment. The flames were raging, the heat unbearable. The truck sat in the drive-through lane of a Jack-in-the-Box, just feet away from the building. If the fire spread, it could turn into a catastrophic disaster. But then, a chilling realization. Was anyone still inside the truck? With the fire intensifying by the second, Womack had to act fast. The question was, would he make it in time? What happened next was one of the most intense moments ever captured on a police dashcam. October 15, 2005, Arkansas. It was just past 3 a.m. when Arkansas Police Corporal Randy McAdams received a report of a crash at Hobo Jungle Park. It was unclear what had happened, but as a first responder, Randy immediately made his way toward the scene. The road ahead was dark and empty. But as he got closer, he noticed something strange. A thick layer of what looked like fog completely blocking his view. It wasn't normal mist. It seemed heavier, unnatural. Something about it felt off. This made Randy hesitate. Instead of driving straight into it, he stopped. And just moments later, his dash cam captured something terrifying.
I've got some kind of chemical smell. It's slowly drifting further south.
Hobo Jungle, completely engulfed in flames. Phil 90, all right?
Damn, boy.
Central, we just had a huge explosion. We've got massive fire out here on Dudley here at the Rico Yard. All kinds of stuff on fire. Right there. Just lost power down here on the hill. 10-4. 209, you might want to back your unit up.
Get your ass out of my road. Get the hell up out of here.
A huge explosion erupted right in front of him. A fireball shot into the sky, lighting up the entire area. We've got massive fire out here. Randy's voice can be heard over the radio, panic setting in as he throws his car into reverse. 209, you might want to back your unit up. Get your ass out of here. Flames roared across the road. Had he moved forward just a few seconds earlier, he would have been directly in the blast zone. The cause of the explosion. What Randy had responded to that night wasn't just any crash. It was a catastrophic train derailment. A tanker carrying propylene, a highly flammable gas, had been punctured. The fog that Randy saw? That was actually the leaking gas. At that moment, it wasn't yet on fire. But as it spread across the area, it eventually reached a nearby house. Investigators later determined that the house's water heater was the ignition source. The second the gas made contact with the heater, it ignited, setting off the massive explosion. Amazingly, all police officers and rail yard employees were able to escape before the explosion. However, the house that triggered the blast had a single occupant. Tragically, they did not survive. The explosion was so powerful that 3,000 residents within a 1-mile radius were ordered to evacuate immediately. Serious concerns were raised about communication failures between emergency services and the rail yard. Like the presence of a vapor cloud and chemical odor, was never relayed to dispatchers. Responding officers like Randy were unaware of the true danger they were walking into. Had he driven just a little further, this footage might have never existed. Since the disaster, the city has updated its emergency communication protocols to prevent another tragedy like this from happening again. This footage remains one of the most intense and terrifying moments ever captured on a police dash cam. February 24, 2015 in New Jersey. It started with multiple 911 calls. Residents of a quiet New Jersey neighborhood reported a strong smell of gas filling the air. It was early morning and at first no one knew where the leak was coming from. Police officers, firefighters, and utility workers rushed to the scene. Their priority? Finding the source before it was too late. As a precaution, authorities quickly evacuated 75 homes in the area. But as they worked to locate the leak, time was running out. Then, it happened. A sudden, violent explosion tore through the neighborhood. The force was so powerful that it sent debris flying in every direction, smashing into nearby houses, cars, and streets. The home at the center of it all? It was completely ripped from its foundation. By sheer luck, the house was under renovation and unoccupied at the time. But that didn't mean everyone was safe. 15 people were injured, most of them firefighters and utility workers who had been on the scene investigating the leak. Some suffered critical injuries and had to be airlifted to emergency rooms. The explosion was so powerful that windows shattered in homes hundreds of feet away. What caused the blast? Investigators believe the explosion was triggered by a 2-inch gas main that had ruptured. But how it broke, and what actually ignited the blast, remains a mystery to this day. The footage captured by the police dash cam is one of the most shocking moments ever recorded, serving as a chilling reminder of how quickly disaster can strike. January 2016, Lincoln County. It was just another quiet night for Deputy Jeremy Gatney. His cruiser's dash cam was rolling as he patrolled the empty roads, completely unaware that he was about to witness something that no officer ever expects. As he approached an intersection, he noticed something in the middle of the road. At first, it looked like just another obstruction, but then it moved. Jeremy immediately slowed down and turned on his lights. But as he got closer, his heart sank. It wasn't just an object, it was a child. A tiny infant, barely able to walk, was running directly toward his front bumper. Jeremy jumped out of his vehicle and picked the child up. He looked around, no adults in sight. "Where are your parents?" he asked. But the child was too young to respond. Moments later, officers found 2 frantic parents searching the area. It turned out the child had unknowingly slipped out of their house through an open door, and they didn't even realize he was missing until minutes later. The case was investigated for possible child neglect, but in the end, it was determined to be a terrifying accident. No charges were filed. But the question remains, what if Jeremy hadn't been there at that exact moment? One thing is certain, This footage captured a near tragedy that could have ended much differently. April 5, 2006. A lone man is spotted jogging along the side of a quiet road. He looks calm and in control. But what the officer stopping him doesn't know, this man is one of the most notorious prison escapees in U.S. history. Richard Lee McNair was no ordinary criminal. Sentenced to 2 life terms for murder and attempted murder, he had already escaped from prison twice before. His first attempt was short-lived, lasting only a few minutes. His second escape was more successful. He remained a fugitive for 9 months before being caught again. But this was his third and final escape. And this time he had no intention of getting caught.
Timber. You live around here, buddy? No. Where you live at?
Down the road by Pineville.
Pineville?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you have any form of identification on you?
No, man.
All right. What it is, we got an escapee.
Oh. Where from?
Prison.
There's a prison here?
Yeah. What's your address?
I don't have an address. I'm at the hotel. We're working on houses and stuff like that, the roofing.
Roofing?
Yep.
Okay.
For my brother.
All right. Where are you staying at?
That Titusville or Titus Inn? Titus Inn? Little old.
Where's that at?
I don't even know the address. We just got into town about a week ago, and he dropped me off to jog. I always jog about 12 miles a day.
Where'd he drop you off at?
Up there on that road by, there's some construction going on up there, some houses, and he dropped me off.
Who do y'all work for?
It's his,
I know, what's the name of the company?
Fields Roofing.
Okay.
Fields Roofing.
Did you go through a briar patch or something?
Well, yeah, roofing. I always roof in shorts and cut my, scratching up on, the roofing.
That's why your knees are all cut up?
On that day, police had already been alerted about an escaped prisoner in the area. When the officer spotted McNair running, he immediately pulled over and began questioning him. But instead of panicking, McNair acted completely normal. He confidently answered the officer's questions, even making small talk to seem less suspicious. However, he made one crucial mistake. The officer asked for his name. McNair gave one. Minutes later, the officer asked again. This time, McNair gave a completely different name.
What's your name?
Robert Jones.
Robert Jones?
Uh-huh.
What's your name again?
Jimmy Jones.
It was a huge red flag, but the officer didn't catch it at the time. Before anything could escalate, McNair calmly walked away, and just like that, he had fooled law enforcement once again. This single conversation bought him an extra 1.5 years of freedom. But eventually his luck ran out. He was captured in Canada and extradited back to the U.S., where he was sent to Florence, Colorado, one of the most secure prisons in the country. This time, there was no escape. California, date unknown. It was supposed to be a standard emergency response. 2 California Highway Patrol officers were rushing toward a reported structure fire, their police cruiser speeding down the rain-soaked road. Then, out of nowhere, it happened. A massive mudslide suddenly crashed onto the highway, swallowing everything in its path. By the time the officers saw it, it was already too late.
Mudslide.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Go! Go!
It's gonna come right through us. What are we supposed to do? I have no idea. Ventura 29201, there is a very active mudslide coming down Olive Mill towards the 101 right now. It overtook our vehicle as we were heading north on Olive Mill. We were able to barely escape and we're down by the freeway now. But it's there's a lot of debris and a lot of flow coming down. It should be on the near the freeway very shortly. Mike, get in the car! Mike, get in the car! Get in the car, Mike! Get in the car! Get in the f***ing car! Back up. Get the PA on.
The police vehicle was instantly lifted off the road. All four wheels lost contact with the ground, spinning helplessly as the officers were swept away with the raging current of debris. For a moment, it seemed like there was no way out. But then, by sheer luck, they regained traction. Somehow, the officers managed to take control of the vehicle and drove ahead of the slide. From there, all they could do was warn pedestrians and watch in horror as the mudslide rushed through their city, tearing through everything in its path. Incident number 2, the wrong-way driver. Wyoming, July 27, 2018. In the early morning hours, multiple 911 calls came in. A reckless wrong-way driver was speeding down the highway. Officers Rob Meredith and Chris DeBoer were the first to respond. With no time to spare, they set up their police cruiser as a makeshift barricade. Then the headlights appeared. A vehicle was coming straight toward them.
Good. Take as many lanes as you can. Watch yourself, watch yourself.
We are going to set up like this. He's coming right at us right now.
Alright, we got him coming at us, dispatch.
Watch yourself.
You alright?
Yep.
Copy, got hit head on. We'll get medical started. Where you at?
54 from 131.
131 and what?
Disturbingly, the driver showed no signs of stopping. No brakes. No attempt to swerve. It was a direct collision course. At the very last second, Officer Chris DeBoer turned the cruiser into the impact, absorbing the blow and preventing what could have been a fatal head-on crash. The wrong-way driver survived but was later identified as a 60-year-old man with 2 prior DUI offenses. He was charged with his 3rd offense of operating a vehicle while intoxicated. As for the 2 officers, they miraculously escaped with only minor injuries. 2 different incidents. 2 near-fatal moments caught on police dash cams. Both serving as a chilling reminder of just how unpredictable life on duty can be. From terrifying plane crashes to deadly explosions, and from natural disasters to reckless drivers, these police dash cam recordings capture moments that are both shocking and unforgettable. But what makes them truly disturbing is the sheer unpredictability of each situation. These officers had no idea what they were about to face, yet in a split second their lives were on the line. Some incidents ended in miraculous escapes, while others served as chilling reminders of how quickly things can take a turn for the worst. What do you think was the most terrifying moment in this video? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see more unbelievable real-life footage, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, stay safe.